Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today's tutorial is a stitch tutorial, and it's the wedge stitch. Now I'm going to show you this here in solid. This is a base chain of 4 repeats. Then we have our row 1, which is our starting row, our foundation row of stitches. Then we have rows 2 and 3, and that is your repeat. And I repeated row 2 one more time just to complete the square, or rectangle rather, here. And your multiples are in multiples of 6 plus 2 when starting from a chain. If you're working in a project, you would need multiples of 6 plus 1. So that's the difference, is the chain. If you start from a chain, it's plus 2. If you're adding it in a project, it's plus 1. All right, so this here I did with a Furls 4mm, and it is a lighter worsted weight yarn, and I did it in solid, so that way you could see it as a solid. But do you want to bust some scrap? Let's bust out some scrap. So I'm going to pull over here 4 different colors. Why, you say? Well, I don't need them, but I'm going to show you each row in a different color. And the reason I'm doing that is also to show you that you can bust some scrap. Do an Afghan, if you so choose, a throw, a shawl. Well, you could do it in a shawl, but you would be better doing it in a wrap. But totally bust out some scraps here. Just change it up. You can do solids, you can mix them up and do self-striping in there. You could do one that's multicolor, and then the next row, a solid. You could do 2 rows of whatever and then 2 rows of whatever. It is entirely up to you, but use this as you wish. I'm just suggesting it would make a great scrap busting project. Do you have leftover cotton? Do a table runner. All kinds of different things could be done with this stitch. Now, in this stitch is what's called the wedge picot. Once we get to the end of our first chain, our starting chain, I will teach you the wedge picot. And then basically you're repeating that over and over and over again. And it just, depending on the direction you're going, depends on where you're working into stitches. So we're going to go ahead and chain in multiples of 6. Now I'm going to do 3 multiples of 6 plus 2 for my base chain. And I'm just using standard worsted weight. Probably Red Heart Super Saver. I have no idea. Guessing that's a Red Heart. Who knows? I know this is. I'm just grabbed scrap balls out of my scrap bin, so let's get going. Chain up how many ever you wish, whether it's 3 multiples of 6 or 2 or 4, however you wish. If you're just wanting to test out this pattern. If you're wanting to make something bigger, you would chain in multiples of 6 until it is the width that you desire. Now it's going to shrink just a hair, not much, when you work that first row. By the time you get done with your first row, you can kind of see how wide it's going to be, or how long it's going to be, whichever direction you decide to go with this. So I'm going to go ahead and continue chaining, and I'm going to chain up 3 multiples of 6 plus 2 chains. All right, so now I have my chain of 20 for the 3 multiples plus 2. And now we're going to turn it over and work into those back bumps. The spine of your chain makes things look a lot nicer with this on the bottom, your stitch like this on the bottom of your work. So I'm going to skip back to the second chain and single crochet. So here's the first one, here's the second one. Let's single crochet into that second chain. All right, now let's work the wedge picot. We're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. And we're going to skip back to the second chain and single crochet. Now we're going to half double crochet into the second chain. Now we're going to half double crochet into the next chain. Double crochet into the next chain. Treble crochet into the next chain. And double treble into the last chain. 3 wraps around your hook. Into that next chain, double treble. All right, so now we've made our wedge picot. We're going to come back over here to our base chain, and we're going to skip the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into the 6th chain. Now we're going to do that wedge picot again. We're going to repeat that same process 2 more times. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sorry about that, y'all. This yarn is slipping off this hook like no tomorrow. All right, single crochet into the second chain from your hook. Half double crochet into the next chain. Double crochet into the next chain. Treble crochet into the next chain. And double treble into the last chain. Then we're going to hop back over to our foundation chain and skip the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th single crochet. Now just repeat that picot wedge. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet into the second chain from your hook, half double crochet into the next chain, double crochet into the next, treble crochet into the next, and double treble into the last. Then we're going to hop back over to our base chain and single crochet into the last stitch. So we're skipping 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet into the last stitch. Now I'm not going to complete my last stitch with the yellow. I am going to complete it with the next color. So I'm going to use red next, and I'm going to cut away from the yellow. And I'm going to pull in some red. to finish the last stitch. All right, I'm just going to tie that red to the yellow just to hold it for the purpose of this tutorial. Just put a square knot in it so that way it doesn't go anywhere. All right, so now I'm ready and set up with the next color to begin row 2. Row 2 and 3 are your repeating rows. All right, so we're going to begin row 2. I swapped out hooks. Let's see if I can keep my yarn on my hook. I did finish with red, and we'll start row 2 with red. Now, rows 2 and 3 are your repeating rows. So we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your work over. Now we need to find the very top, the single crochet at the top. If you want to try to find it a little bit easier, you can look at your sail or your wedge picot here. And we know this bottom one is our base chain, so we're going to discontinue that. Then you have a double treble, a treble, a double, a half double, and here's your single. We're going to single crochet into that single crochet from the row below. There we are. Now we're going to work down the side into the stitches, and we're going to repeat the picot wedge. Here's our single. We're going to do a half double into the next, double into the next, treble into the next, and double treble into the last stitch. Now we're going to skip over your single crochet and all the way up to the top of the next wedge, we're going to single crochet into that single crochet. And if you need to follow the previous instructions on how to find it, you can do so. Single crochet. Now half double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, treble into the next, and double treble into the next. And once again, we're going to repeat that process. We're going to jump over to the next wedge picot, single crochet into the top, single crochet, and repeat your wedge picot. Half double, double, treble, and double treble. And then we have one stitch remaining, which is a single crochet at the very end here. We're going to place a double treble into that single crochet. And if you're changing colors, don't finish your last two loops here. We're going to switch colors and move to the next. So I'm just going to grab this blue here and finish that last stitch with blue. Like such. And then I'm going to tie this red to the blue just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere and unravel while I work back. Then you can go back and sew in your ends or however you wish to do it. There we go. All right, so here we are. We are at the end of row 2. Now we need to do row 3. Row 3, we're going to do our same thing as we did here, basically, except we're not working into a base chain. We're working into the single crochets between these wedge stitches. All right, let's begin. We're going to place a chain 1, turn your work, single crochet into that stitch. And now we're going to work our chain. Our chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Now we're going to work down the chain just as we have done previously. Work a single crochet into your second chain from your hook. Half double into the next chain. Double into the next chain. Treble into the next chain. And double treble into the remaining chain. Now, we're going to connect right here into this single crochet. So we're going to slip over, just hop over all those stitches and single crochet into that single crochet. Like such. And we're going to repeat that process 2 more times. I'm going to go ahead and just work 3, 4, 5, 6. Single, half double, double, treble, double treble. And again, we're going to hop on over. Going to skip the next 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So your double treble, your treble, your double, your half double. Then you come to your single and single crochet. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet into the second chain, half double into the next, double into the next, treble into the next, and double treble into the last. Now when we get down to the end, we're going to single crochet into the top of that single crochet, the very last one, just like such. Now if I was going to change colors yet again, which I will off camera and finish the next row, which is repeating row 2. I will finish my last stitch with the new color as I have done previously and tie off and work across the next row. That's for changing your colors every single row. If you did 2 rows at a time, you would just carry your yarn up the side to the following time you need to use it. But this, I am saying scrap busting. Let's bust out some scraps and work up a project, have fun with it, enjoy it. But this is the wedge picot right here, and you're just repeating that over and over again, and depending on which direction you're going is which direction your stitches fall. So I think it's really fun and an interesting stitch. I know that it's been done many different times and in many different projects it's been used, but I would like to bring a new light to it and show you that you could use this to use as a scrap busting project. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And at the end of the video, I will show this to you completely finished with the next row, which is repeating row 2 once again. So your repeating rows is row 2 and row 3. Be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.